I have a pitch for you guys. I am now the CEO of Nintendo. As a big tech CEO, I'm not doing any work. You know what's doing that work for me? AI. So here's what we got. Nintendo Switch 2, brand new console. This thing is coming up, right? It's gotta launch with some games. We don't know what games it's gonna launch with. They're probably gonna launch with like 3 titles. Maybe more, maybe less, I don't know. And I'm the CEO, I don't even know what video games is. So we're gonna move on to ChatGPT because this is what I did. I asked ChatGPT, you're a CEO at Nintendo, tasked with developing 3 games to launch your brand new console, which is a successor to the Nintendo Switch. These 3 games need to help convince consumers to upgrade to this new console. One of these games should be a completely original Super Mario game. One of them should be a multiplayer title based on an established Nintendo IP, and one of them is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. Give me full game titles and brief descriptions of these 3 games that you're launching with. So I kind of gave it one, I let it have complete free reign as long as it's multiplayer. One, I said, okay, we gotta have a Mario game, and the other one, I wanted to hear what its take was on Metroid Prime 4. So ChatGPT then responded with, certainly, here's a strategic and enticing launch lineup for the new Nintendo console. Let me just preface this by saying these games go from, okay, maybe I can kind of see this happening, to, I can't spoil it, there's some hilarious ideas that this thing comes up with. Super Mario Kingdoms Reborn, a completely original title that reinvents the classic Mario formula with a fresh, expansive approach. In this game, Mario discovers a series of ancient mystical kingdoms that have recently reawakened after centuries of slumber. Each kingdom offers unique biomes, dynamic weather systems, and new gameplay mechanics tied to its environment. The game introduces Kingdom Powers, which are special abilities Mario can harness based on the kingdom he's exploring, such as manipulating time or controlling elemental forces. And apparently this game has multiplayer and online co-op. Main thing I want to talk about here, Kingdom Powers. These are new powers Mario gets that are different to every single level that you explore. This is Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This is what that game was. There were Wonder Flowers where you could literally change the time. It did get me thinking. A 3D version of Mario Wonder is a cool idea. There's stuff like a Tiny Huge Island or like TikTok Clock. You jump in and like the hands are either moving or they're not. That sort of idea of like manipulating the level itself with maybe powers that Mario has or like manipulating time, I think that stuff is interesting. Anyway, that is the Mario game. It's essentially taking something that already exists, Mario Wonder, and putting it in 3D. Now, let's see this new multiplayer lineup. Mac, you are going to love this one.
Oh my god.
Splatoon 4, Turf Wars Unleashed, takes the popular franchise to new heights with an expanded multiplayer experience. Building on the success of previous installments, this game introduced a new dynamic Turf Wars mode where 64 players battle in large-scale, ever-evolving arenas that change over the course of the match. And then it proceeds to talk about an online infrastructure called Squid League, which essentially just sounds like ranked, but is trying to pitch it as like a brand new thing. This just came up with Splatoon Battle Royale, which is something, Mac, you have done before.
First concept trailer back when I was a sophomore in high school and I was editing that in study hall. I've been asking for Splatoon Battle Royale for 8 years.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like this is the obvious next step in Splatoon. Like, I'm surprised that wasn't what the main focus of Splatoon 3 was in the first place.
Hey everyone, look who it is! It's the person who's not subscribed to Nintendo Tonight. Everyone point and laugh. Seriously, if you're not subscribed to Nintendo Tonight, what are you doing? We upload one podcast every single week all about Nintendo and multiple segments like the one you're watching right now every single week as well. Hit that subscribe button, join the club, and while you're down there, if you leave a like, we really appreciate it. Thanks, let's get back to the segment. Moving on, the final game I asked it to talk about is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And if I'm being honest, this is pretty boring. I don't really want to read all this out. I'm not done with ChatGPT just yet.
No.
I had another thing to ask, and I'm thinking, okay, we already got the 3 launch games, but what about them smaller downloadable titles? So my next prompt was, please also develop 2 smaller downloadable titles that will also be available at launch. This is when we started to get into some crazy territory. First thing we got is Wario's Wild Workshop, which is a quirky and fun-filled puzzle platformer starring Wario in his latest entrepreneurial adventure. After discovering a mysterious magical artifact, his workshop becomes a chaotic playground of invention and mischief. Players navigate through a series of inventive levels, creative traps, bizarre contraptions, and zany enemies, featuring a unique invention mode where players can use Wario's gadgets to solve puzzles and create their own contraptions, which can then be shared. I love this. I love Wario Land. Wario seems like the perfect character to me for like a little eShop title. Very exciting. So I then read the next game it gave me. Nintendo Legends Battle Arena is a fast-paced arena-style brawler featuring a cast of beloved Nintendo characters. This is just Smash Bros. AI still got a fair bit to go in order to take over because ChatGPT, I ask you to come up with a new idea and it comes up with Smash Bros. so I asked it to do it again. Star Fox Galactic Dash is a thrilling, action-packed arcade racer set in the Star Fox universe. It then goes on to give a description, but it's pretty much race through space, power-up, time trial, split screen, online leaderboards, all that. That would be how if I actually, okay, I'm gonna break the bit for a second. I'm not actually the CEO of Nintendo. This would be how I reintroduce Star Fox to pop culture. That's a downloadable racing game. That's Star Fox Galactic Dash. I think ChatGPT actually hit the nail on the head with this one. That's what I got from the ChatGPT. I went in there, I asked.
It didn't do terrible.
Was trying to get.
It shot like 25% from the field.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it
lie.
wasn't great. Let's keep it a buck. But there were some interesting ideas, and I think that you could workshop some of those ideas to be a lot more interesting.
Yeah.